now. Everybody's joining and coming in.
Welcome. We're going to get started on narcissism and
So what we are
entrepreneurship.
going to do is go ahead and if you're watching us live, type live down in the comments. If you're watching the replay, go ahead and
So what we're going to do
hit
is
replay.
go ahead
So I am
and
bringing up Chef Ty right now.
comments if you're watching the replay.
Let me make sure. Let's see. All right. Can you hear me over here?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Cool.
Can you hear me?
I can. All right. Let's see. I want to make sure Facebook can hear us first.
Because I muted my laptop, so the double sound don't come through. Right. So,
Me too.
Yeah, we're going to get this thing right. Hey, everybody, y'all coming in.
Yes, yes. Good evening, everyone. We'll be talking about narcissism and entrepreneurship. So first, in a minute, we're going to tell you all, many people don't even know what narcissism is. So we're going to break that down, and then we're going to get into how that can transpire, or what can transpire by dealing with a narcissist in your business, or as a narcissist as an entrepreneur, or dating one. And it can be a huge deal. So you don't want to miss out. We might have some goodies at the end. So let's see. We're going to bring everybody in. If you're watching us live, go ahead and comment live. If you're watching the replay, type replay down there. But for those of you who are on the live right now, if you know somebody who's ever dated a narcissist or is dealing with a narcissist, go ahead and share this live, because this is going to be good. And I'm bringing everybody in, making sure that our Facebook viewers can hear us and see us. So let me see. Facebook. Okay, looks like we can hear and see. Let me make sure. All right, welcome, Wanda's World. Let me go down. I want to welcome everybody. Welcome, Patricia and Tubio and Miss Gibb and BK. S-Fin, okay. BK's Finest Diva. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm Lyntrell. I'm a business strategist. Every day I help mompreneurs and women entrepreneurs turn their side hustle into a thriving business. But on Wednesdays, me and Chef Ty come and we break things down, like social issues, dating, and things that you may encounter as an entrepreneur and on your journey. So a really cool thing is, those of you who are watching us on Facebook and YouTube, if you comment, your names and everything will start to pop up on the screen. So let's see. That's something really cool that we just started. Okay, got that. We are set to go. All right, so Ty, let's break down what a narcissist is, because so many people do not even know what that is. Facebook, if you cannot hear us, hold on. I want to make sure they can hear us, because I don't see any comments yet.
I don't see any.
I don't either. All right, Facebook, if you can hear us, comment that you can hear us, because we don't want to go this whole video and thinking that you can hear us and you cannot. So somebody let me know in the comments that you can hear us, please. Who is over there? Let's see.
It's weird trying to look at two screens.
Okay, they can hear us because I just checked it out on my phone. All
They
right.
heard me too.
So, yes.
Okay, cool. Let's do it.
We're good to go. All right. So, Chef Ty, can you break down what a narcissist is? And while you're doing that in our terms, I'm going to bring up the legal definition of a narcissist.
All right, cool. Well, good evening, everybody. Chef Ty right here. I do a lot of teaching on narcissism too, because I used to be one. God delivered me from that. I dated a narcissist. That's what got my soul saved. Many people out there right now dating a narcissist, family members of a narcissist. You're probably a narcissist. You're married a narcissist. You've been with a narcissist. And in a relationship, a narcissist is a person who has excessive interest in or admiration of themselves. Okay, they don't care about nothing but themselves. Narcissism is 100% rooted in the demonic. It is very demonic because that spirit causes a person to act out of character. So that spirit is running rampant these days like never before, especially in the relationship area, whether it be business relationship, partnership, friendship, marriage, whatever it is. Anything that ends with the ship, 10 times out of 10, narcissism is in it, or narcissism has a way of getting into it. And many people exposed to it probably are narcissists. I do a lot of training on this stuff because I was the textbook narcissist. So that's what it is.
Okay, cool. So the medical definition and the actual terminology is a disorder in which a person has an inflated sense of self-importance. Yes. Narcissistic personality disorder is found more commonly in men, and the cause is unknown, but likely involves a combination of genetic and environmental factors. So funny that he used to be one. I've dated one before. So I'm going to give it on my take and my side on what it was like being an entrepreneur and dating a narcissist. And he's going to share a little bit about how it was to be one. And, you know, I guess about dating one too, because he's dated one as well. So, right. So what do you feel like was the most difficult part of dating a narcissist?
My most difficult part is very common with a lot of other people was combative. Everything was an issue. Everything was a problem because I want people to understand that when you're dating a narcissist, a surefire sign, and I got 9 traits that I'm going to speak on tonight, and these things are like textbook to me. They're standard when it comes to dealing with a narcissist. And one of them is being combative. Like a narcissist does not care about nothing. And hear me good, because even if this person is with you, they don't care about nothing if it does not benefit them. They don't care about an idea. If they can gain nothing out of it, they ain't no narcissist. That spirit has to be fed. It seeks for praise, and the Bible tells you not to praise man, you only praise God. So that demon needs to be fed, and whatever you feed will grow. So it's my problem the most, I would say, was when I used to try, and this is years ago, even a great suggestion, and it was not coming from her, or it was not her idea, it was just dismantled. Don't even bring that my way, because I didn't think of it, and it may make sense, but my whole thing was she wanted to wait every day, every week. That was my issue, being combative.
Okay, so I'll say that my biggest issue was I felt like they didn't listen. And when you're an entrepreneur, you want to take things and ideas to your mate, and you want them to be attentive. And if that person is self-inflated and they feel like they're more important than the other person, it can trigger something in them to not listen. So I felt like when I was in that situation, that person did not listen as much as I feel like they wanted me to listen to them. So I don't feel that I've ever been a narcissist, but since you have openly admitted that you've been one before, what do you feel like was the turning point in you changing your narcissist or narcissistic behavior?
It took for me, because God always showed you and somebody else, always. And it took for me to date a narcissist to realize I was a narcissist way before I even got in that relationship with this young lady. Remember, the Bible says, "Do not deceive, God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that you can also reap." People so reap that hard all the time. They just say, "You reap what you sow." Yes, you do. But it's that very thing that you reap. So due to the fact that I was a narcissist and being with a narcissist, God had to show me this is what you were doing to this other young lady. So I have a lady that was going to do this to you, and it was time for me to reap it. And I didn't like the way that felt. Like, you know how women always say men can dish it, but they can't take it. Well, that's kind of true 100% in a lot of areas, but not all the way across the board, because that things women do that they can't handle neither when the man do it to them. So it's just a two-way street, and it's a spirit war, of course. So I don't go off genders, because demons don't care who the hell they jump on. They'll jump in animals if they have to. But my whole thing was, I had to reap that. And I knew I couldn't deal with that. And I mean, everything, and the Lord showed me every time I was a narcissist, I had narcissistic ways to the young lady before I met my narcissist. He reminded me through her on what I've done. So I was able to deal with it, but it's all fun and games until the rabbit get the gun.
Yes, it is. And I agree. Like you made a really good point with saying it doesn't matter a gender. So many people think that narcissists are usually men, and even the definition said it's typically men. But I know a lot of women who are narcissists. And another funny thing that I believe now is that many entrepreneurs are narcissists. They're coming so self-consumed that they forget about the customers. And our job as an entrepreneur is to serve our customers. And so many entrepreneurs are so important, feel like they're so important to themselves. They're so worried about what they're going to gain from the customer interaction, how much money they're going to gain, how much fame they're going to gain, how much notoriety they're going to gain from the customer interaction, and they don't focus on the customer's needs. So what do you feel like when it comes to say somebody's a narcissist themselves because they're an entrepreneur and then they're dating a narcissist? What do you think that would look like? What is some advice or information that you can give to help somebody try to weed their way out of that situation?
Most narcissists who date or marry other narcissists who are entrepreneurs, they don't recognize it because they only see themselves the majority of the time. They think it's a business thing, and they downplay or dismiss the fact that you both are operating in narcissism because the things that you would normally do, you get that in return, so you think that's normal. But in the case of if one person is not a narcissist and you're dating a narcissist or married a narcissist, both of y'all are in a business, of course the person who's not is always going to take what the narcissist is doing. They should, whether it be male or female, that this is wrong. Like at the end of the day, we're together. Our marriage or our relationship, I'm dating you, not your business. I married you, not your business. God gave you to me. God didn't give your business to me. And your first ministry is in your marriage, or your first ministry is at home, of course. And the people, I mean, this is very common with a lot of entrepreneurs or are narcissists who are married. They work at business 24/7 and they don't have a happy medium. The Bible says that false balance is an abomination to God. Like you have to be balanced somewhere in everything that you do. So a lot of people who are narcissists that are together, you ever heard of those saying birds of a feather flock together? They're familiar spirits, so they recognize each other. They just recognize each other. So they know how to get along. You never notice that who just can't stand each other are always around each other. So those are familiar spirits. But to encourage those people there, you can't change a narcissist. A narcissist has to first, you know what they're saying, first step to identify the problems and admit that you got a narcissist. Rarely, if not ever, think there's to be one. It ain't me. I was going to get a shirt. It ain't me. It's Joe. And how prideful is that? How prideful is that?
Right.
And it was textbook narcissism, right? So it would take the and if God changed me, a narcissist can be changed because I wanted to be delivered. I wanted to not go through what I put other women through. This is one reason why I don't cheat no more. You heard my story. I caught my ex in the shower with a fat dude. You know what I'm saying? And that's funny to this day. It wasn't funny to this day. And so I had to learn that. I wanted to change and I had to humble myself. So you know what? This ain't right, man, because narcissists always find themselves being alone, so they have to go and get somebody. Jezebel always need an Ahab. That spirit always needs somebody. So a narcissist would jump person to person. And so people who are dating or married a narcissist, you can't change them. I would say my recommendation, you strongly, if you're not like it, you might want to run from that one. That's a battle you don't want to engage in, and that's a war you do not want to be in. It's a war you're not going to win. That's just my whole recommendation because I've seen many people who have to in the business and the dating world. They done got drugged for years, hoping that this man or this woman is going to change into who they want them to be. And you don't get time back. So I would recommend that person leave. That Brooklyn laughing at me. For real, yeah. It's crazy.
Okay, so those of you who are just coming in, go ahead and share this out. I'm trying to make sure that everything is good over here. Okay, so we're good on both platforms. I wanted to make sure everybody could hear us on both. If you're just coming in, go ahead and share it out, share it out, share it out. But so now that say somebody's leaving, they're getting out of the situation and they determine that, okay, boom, I'm a narcissist, right? What do you feel like the next step is in that help, in the receiving help or asking for help? Because the first step is admitting that you have a problem. But then once you figure out you have this problem, what do you think they need to take that next step and move forward? Because that's like building a new avenue and you're trying to be a business owner over here.
Right. You still have to. I tell entrepreneurs all the time, because I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a business owner myself. You need to take care of you first. If you're not running on all 8 cylinders, if you're not 100 with yourself, you won't be effective for business. You also won't be effective for your family because you can't pour from an empty cup. You need to be healed and whole. And if you already have built a business, of course, I want you to still open your doors because you have a service for a ministry. Come on now, it ain't always, no ministry ain't always behind the pulpit. God calls some people to the marketplace. So you still have to open your doors to your ministry and provide a service that God gave you. But at the end of the day, you also still need to understand you need to heal. Just because I'm cut, there have been many times that my business is open and I was going through a serious heartbreak. 8 months ago. These lights still had to be on. So I had to eat. I need to clean clothes. I can't tell my landlord she left me. She hurt me. He wanted his money. I was saying, the first step, only you really get with the Lord first, and just ask God to heal it. It's not an overnight thing. And after that, you really have to keep encouraging yourself. The Bible said David encouraged himself. Sometimes you ain't got that backup plan. Sometimes you ain't got that person who can call us. Sometimes God will make it so you have nobody else to call but upon him. God will make sure that they don't answer. God will make sure that I'm going to call you back. I'm busy. Whatever it may be. Sometimes people can enable us when we're going through it. And God is saying, I'm trying to get your attention so I can deliver you and heal you from this. But you start with admitting the fact that, hey, I'm hurt. Hey, he or she was a narcissist. I got away from that. Okay, cool. My doors still need to be open to my business, but you need to go down the street, So I'm going to try to walk, and I'm going to lead while I'm leading. But at the end of the day, I still need to take this first step. So it can be done, but it all starts in here. It starts with a choice. You have to choose to be healed, and you will be.
Okay. So what do you say about entrepreneurs who are dealing with customers on a day-to-day basis? My personal feeling about that is, if you're going to be dealing with people on a day-to-day basis and you know that you have to serve them, I feel like self-care is super important. I also feel like you said, taking care of your mental space and your mental capacity first before even jumping into entrepreneurship. And people think that they need to cleanse themselves and purify themselves so much to date, but it is a mindset shift for business owners too. That is huge. We jump into business ownership or entrepreneurship the same as we do, in our real life, but then we'll go and try to fix our entire life, go to counseling and do all of these things to start dating. It's similar. So what do you feel like are some things that could help people make that shift into entrepreneurship and switching over from being a narcissist and learning how to serve? Because I don't think narcissists know how to serve others.
I would say, and I'm trying to share the video on my page. I hear you, and I don't want to be rude. I heard everything you just said.
No, fine. I was sharing it too.
And I'm sharing it. Cool. Perfect. I want to see. Okay. Most people, and I say this all the time, they want the platform, but they don't want the process. Mm-hmm. They don't want to go through. Nobody wants to go through the process because the competition. So the narcissist, not narcissist, but the entrepreneur who really want to go forward, they have to go through their process. Cakes don't rise immediately. I'm putting fire to activate the yeast and the gluten and everything is going to rise with gases. It needs fire. fire purified. So in order for you to go through all position, to go through your healing, you gotta be purified, you gotta be cleansed. You gotta get that impurities burned off of you. Why would you even attempt to open up not only to business, but to someone else? See, a lot of people are skipping that process because they don't want to go through the pain. It's purpose and pain. Everything under the sun has a purpose. Pain teaches you, of course, it's the best teacher. We tend to want to choose that over wisdom in way. So, which is wrong. We want to take the hard way. You know what I mean? It's two ways of learning. But most people, they want to come out of that pain process because they don't like how it feels. No, you go through your process because if you don't heal, you will repeat these same steps. If you ain't get it right with John, you got to go through it again with Darren. If you ain't get it right with Keisha, you got to go through it again with Lisa. You're gonna go through the steps. So either you pass it or you just repeat the same steps. Connect up the process. That's just my humble opinion. Go through it. Go through it because it teaches you when it presents itself again. Because nothing is new under the sun. When it presents itself again, you're gonna know. Oh, I remember this in the army. Every time I deployed 5 times. Every time the boots hit the ground, they'll tell you in a minute. Remember your training. You'll survive. I say that to the entrepreneur living in the dating and the married world. They know. You remember your training, your experience you've been through. You'll survive this next one. You'll know not to engage. You'll know not to engage that. Touch that.
Okay. And so, what are some questions you have for me?
That's me. Being an entrepreneur for quite some time now. I heard your story, your testimony, and everything. Being an entrepreneur for quite some time, and I'm not flirting with you. You're an attractive woman, so I know you have people approaching you. How do you respond seriously? Because there are a lot of women, even in the business that I'm in, which is 90% ran by women. They have struggles with their men crowd. And some of the entrepreneurs with females on here can attest, they have struggles with their men crowd because they have a service that they have to offer. But a lot of men that they're getting, they're coming in, they got this offer. But a lot of men that they're getting, I want you in that manner. You know what I mean? So how did you deal with being an entrepreneur for so long and being so successful? How did you deal with when it comes? What do you do? What does Lyntrell do when it comes your way? What does Lyntrell do when it comes your way?
When a guy is coming my way and thinking that he wants to date me instead of like be a customer.
There you go. There you go.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. You hear me?
Oh, okay. So were you asking that? Were you asking how I deal with guys who want to date me instead of become customers or like really do business with me?
Right. Yes, exactly. Right. How does that work out for you? How do you respond to that?
Funny enough, I don't ever get men.
How do you respond to that?
Funny enough, I don't ever get men who, want to date or like they're either or. They don't come and say like they want to do business, but they really are interested in this. Either they'll come and say, I want to date, or they'll come, and say they want to be a customer. But I think I've shown up in such a way that men no longer try to date me through social media anymore. I don't know if it's just because of the way that I come up. I don't talk about dating or anything like that on my pages. I don't solicit that I'm single or anything like that. So I think it's a little bit of all those things to why men don't even slide in my DMs. And I hear it so frequently with women saying like, all these men are in their DMs, and you'll be very surprised. It's more women in my DMs who actually are trying to get help or trying to do business with me or network or collaborate, but I don't get a lot of men in my DMs.
Okay, well, one of the many, because the reason why I asked you that, by you being successful and being an entrepreneur for so long, a lot of women on here, they have that problem on, I just want to get my business out there. I ain't trying to meet nobody. Some women probably married, and it's like, yo, I'm just trying to, build this business. That and my women, ladies, if I'm wrong, I can take a straight in it, but that can discourage some women to just leave the business or leave a business God called them to. It's like, why even try? If I'm getting all this in the relationship and in the secular world, I'm trying to build a business in the business world, and y'all just keep wanting me to say that I look versus what I have to offer for my business. So that's one question. I have another question. You hear me? Instagram acting real silly right now. You hear me now? Good? Can you hear me now?
It is, and Instagram is cutting up. You hear me? I'm looking at that little note and circle, but I can hear you now.
You hear me now? All right, cool. Second question. I'm not good at this old Q&A thing, but I do have a question. As far as are you being an entrepreneur? You're a humble person. We spoke many times. How has being humble helped you in the success of your business coming up the ladders in the ranks? Because some people let that go to their head, even if success comes very fast. How did being humble help you in the doors that it opened up for you? How do you handle being so humble? Because I've seen your Lyntrell on your Facebook page. You got like almost 13,000 likes and people on it and everything. So, what would you say to the person who building their business like that? To stay humble when it comes. How would you lead that? Stay humble when it comes. How would you lead that?
So honestly, what I would say is authenticity is key and queen. I say that a lot because people will do business with you because they like you as a person. And I feel like that has helped me to move up in the ranks much quicker, much faster, much easier than I would have had to use my talents and be, mean or have an attitude or be a know-it-all or be, any other way. I think people come into my space and they really who I am and that I really want to see other people do well. And then it's like, wow, I mean, in any way that I can, I meet people on a regular basis with always give to me. And it's because I'm always giving. I always say that I believe the hand that gives is the hand that never stops receiving. And so I never stop giving. I always want to give. So, when I'm out and about and I'm doing things, I always try to treat people the way I want to be treated. Many on here can attest that when they met me, I was as genuine as a regular person, like many people didn't even know. And I'm a regular person, but when people realize you're an entrepreneur, you have a business or something like that, they like, oh wow, now they want to like use you or something, or they are surprised that you didn't flaunt it. And when I meet people, many on here will say they didn't even know I was a business owner at first until I told them, because I'm just like that. But I believe that just being authentic and caring about other people, knowing how difficult it is to be an entrepreneur, giving that extra push or extra help or caring about other people like you want to be cared about and like you want to be pushed and like you want to be poured into is going to do numbers. It's going to take you way further than your talent, than your gifts, any of that. Your gifts will make room for you, but so will your personality.
Yes, that's oily. That's very oily. I like that. Well, that's oily. I have two more questions. I'll ask after you go. So it's your turn. You got any questions for me? Ask me a question.
You guys, I think we are having trouble with Instagram. Let me make sure he did not get disconnected. Facebook, can you also hear us? YouTube, everyone, can you hear us? If you can hear us, please drop down in the comments. I want to make sure I didn't lose anyone.
You guys, I think we are having trouble with
Instagram is frozen.
Okay. Yeah, we are.
I can hear you over on Facebook. Hold on, I'm getting you back up over here on Instagram.
Hear us, YouTube, everyone can hear it.
Okay, lots of feedback. Hold on.
Instagram is frozen.
Natasha on Facebook, my friend Natasha Jones says a lot of feedback.
I think it's feedback because I have this phone right here. I don't have my Bluetooth.
Okay, so
feedback. Hold on.
Oh God.
Technology.
Hold on. Okay, sit tight, Instagram. I am so sorry. We are loading over here, and I think we are losing connection. Let me see. Lots of feedback. All right, let me fix that real quick. You all, please give me 2 seconds. I was looking for my.
I think it's feedback because I have.
Oh gosh.
Let me go out of Instagram and then come back in. Maybe that'll work. Let's try that. Let me see if I can exit out. I'm gonna leave.
Try to drop off and come back in to Instagram.
On Facebook says a lot of feedback on Facebook. Okay, let's see. She's loading up on the gram. Okay, let's see, y'all. We troubleshooting. I've never ran into this before, but it's technology, you all. So whoever's still there, thank you for being here. I'm trying to look at two cameras at one time. So live video calls don't hurt in on this.
Hold on.
Okay. I'll go out. Let me try to refresh. She may have to do another video. Got a gram acting crazy right now. All right, so let me see if I can okay, y'all, let's see. Can you hear me? Feedback is gone when you speak, Tyrone. Okay, cool.
I can hear you now.
Tasha, is it going now? Because I had to come out of Instagram. Now I'm looking at the Facebook page.
Give me 1 minute. Let me get my earphones.
So you can hear me clear, Tasha. You said yes?
Those of you who are watching, please go ahead and share.
You can hear me. Say something so somebody can say, because let me unmute my.
Okay, I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, Lyntrell. I unmute my laptop. Okay, I came out of Instagram. I'm gonna have to go back in there. Going now because I had to come out of Instagram. Now I'm looking at the Facebook page.
Give me 1 minute. Okay. Let me get my earphones.
So you can hear me clear, Tasha. You said yes?
All right, give me 1 minute. I'm gonna hop down and go get my earphones so that we can get back on Instagram.
Somebody can say, because let me unmute.
Okay, I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, Lyntrell. I unmute my laptop. I came out of Instagram. I'm gonna have to go back in there. Going now because I had to come out of Instagram.
Okay, let me get my earphones.
So you can hear me clear, Tasha. You said yes?
All right, give me 1 minute. I'm gonna hop down and go get my earphones so that we can get back on Instagram. Okay, I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, Lyntrell. I unmute my laptop. I came out of Instagram. I'm gonna have to go back in there. Going now because I had to come out of Instagram.
My earphones.
So you can hear me clear, Tasha. You said yes?
All right, give me 1 minute. I'm gonna hop down and go get my earphones so that we can get back on Instagram. Okay, I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, Lyntrell. I unmute my laptop.
Can you hear me? Hear me? 1 minute. I'm gonna hop down and go get my earphones so that we can get back on Instagram. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? It's playing another video. Oh, you know what? I think your phone, because Tyrone has the audio up. I think that's why. Okay. All right, let's get it back popping. All right. So let me open Instagram back up. I have everything muted now. Oh, God. All right. So while he's away, I'm opening Instagram back up. And we will be back on. Let me see. Oh, he dropped out. All right. We can see you now. All right. Okay. We are back. Now we back on Instagram. See. Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me?
Okay. All right. So
Okay, we are back.
I am trying to add you back to the one on Instagram. Or can you send me a request on Instagram? All right. Let me see. It won't let me add you. Hold on. All right. There we go. All right, Facebook land, you all are holding it down. Thank you so much, Natasha. You have been a lifeline because we couldn't hear over there. So thank you so much for holding it down over on Facebook. So now we are back on Instagram, and let's see. All right. So let's get back in the middle of it. We froze on you asking me about what were you asking me about dating, and what did you ask me? Because
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. We good to go.
So on Instagram, I don't see your screen, so I'm gonna look down at this laptop because I can hear you. I think the AirPods connected to the MacBook. That's okay. I can see you. I'm gonna look down. Can you see me
Can
here?
you see me on Instagram?
I can't see you on Instagram, but I can see you on the laptop. That's all that matters. Let's go.
All right, cool.
You see me? You can see my eyes?
I see you on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We good to go.
All right, perfect. Sorry, y'all. Technology
We're so
will replace us all.
Yeah, it will. So we are sorry.
Yeah, you left off with I think it was humility when you were talking about being an entrepreneur, and when you get there, treat others the way you would want to be treated and everything else. That's where you had left off that. And then I said,
Okay.
yeah, and then I said you asked me the other questions that you have for me, and I had 2 questions for you before we secure. So.
Okay, yes, so that's true. Thank you all for coming back and joining us again. We do apologize. We had some issues, but we left off with treating others the way you want to be treated, especially in the entrepreneurship world, because it's important to get up there and move in the ranks naturally. You don't want to have to buy your way into situations. And of course, you do want your gifts and talents to make room for you. But my parents always taught me that you will get way more with sugar than you will with salt, and they look the same. So just being careful with that and always putting your best foot forward with how you treat other people. Just really treat people the way you want to be treated.
That's good there. That's good there. And I like that you said that you get more with sugar than salt, and they both look the same. You can tell that came from a mature person because, yeah, that definitely that'll carry you very far in life. Just being humble. When we were at Thrive Palooza, I'm trying to go, the camera backwards, so that's me up there. I was putting a magazine for the company. There we go. Y'all get what I'm trying to do. I was putting a magazine for the company, and it was a humbling experience for myself. And this was a week ago. We were in Dallas, Texas, to be known throughout a company like the fastest growing health and wellness company in the industry, approaching $3 billion in online sales in like 8 years. So to be known by almost 20,000 people, to be acknowledged, by the owner of the company, to be called a friend by the owner of the company, a billionaire, it was a humbling experience to me. And God will test you in the area just to see how big your head can be. So by you saying the fact that, getting, up there or move, because of course I don't like saying get it to the top because there's always room for improvement. Each level you get on, you're a student now. You start over. You should want to know because you're the new guy because you're new on that level. But that's very good that you said that, because a lot of people don't respect the fact that you forgot where you came from. So that young, hungry guy, that young, hungry woman who look up to you as an inspiration, don't crap on them because you beat them there. You know what I'm saying? So I think the gram kicked me out. It says live video ended, so I don't know what's going on up there. But yeah, as I was stating,
I don't know what
happened on Instagram. You got disconnected, but can you see me on the book?
We're going to stick with Facebook.
You hear me?
Can you hear me?
Let me refresh. Hold on.
Yeah, I can hear you.
You can hear me, but I can't hear you. Let me try to unmute my laptop. Hold on. Let's see how that's gonna work. So
Okay.
So I don't know what's going on up there, but yeah, as I was stating,
I don't know what
happened on Instagram. Okay, you see me on the book. Yeah, your Instagram video ended, so it's just showing my page on my news feed. I can see you, but when it ended, I can't hear you. If you can hear me, if I unmute my laptop, it's going to be a delay and it's going to be feedback. So I have no idea what's going on. Try to start another live video on Instagram.
Okay, I'll do that. I don't know what's happening with Instagram either, but we're going to keep the train rolling because I don't want to keep everybody waiting while Instagram is misbehaving. No, what's happening with Instagram?
And it's okay. This happened.
All right, can you hear me now?
Wait for her to start another video, then I can come in because I cannot hear. I see you.
All right.
Can you see me now?
Yes. All right, so we are good to go. Back on IG. All right. So
now I can hear you.
All right, cool. So
now I can hear you. We back.
Right. Let me mute my computer. All right. So but you made a good point with, like you said, there's always room at the top. And you made a really good point with saying that you met lots of, people that were at different tiers. And you're right. That can go to a lot of people's heads. Think about the many people who even start to move slightly up the charts, and then you can't tell them anything. Like now they making, a few extra dollars, and now they are just mind blown. It's insane. So what do you think? I think that has a lot to do with the inner narcissist, to be honest. I think that is somebody who already had those traits and they were already that way. They just couldn't afford to behave that way.
Right. And you're right about that. It's some people, they just wait. They're waiting. That spirit, that demon, I'm telling you, that thing sits dormant and it wait. And then the minute you get a little bit of notoriety, oh my God, you go from 0 to 1,000 in a few seconds. This is when you immediately forget that you were that guy a week ago. How quickly we can forget that you just got there. And God will humble you like never before. This is why the Bible tells you, God said you need to humble yourself. Because when you don't want God to humble you, because 10 times out of 10, when God humble you, it's going to come with embarrassment. So like you said, when they get that little bit of attention, when they get that little bit of, hey, I see you, or your name ringing bells just a little bit, man. And, I'm boldly saying this, and I don't care who gets offended by this. My people down here in Miami, they got a bad habit of doing that. Real bad habit of doing that. And, and my Miamians can attest to that. Got a real bad habit of doing that. You get a little bit of following, a little bit of followers, your business done picked up, then you start doing business the wrong way. Then you forget, because this is what narcissism do. You forget the fact that your customers is the lifeline of your future. You forget that the customer is really family versus a number. So you start acting snooty and feeling that I can lose your business. I can lose that business. I'm a chef. Hear me good. In my line of business, you're only good as your last meal. Word of mouth can build you up or tear you down. So I treat the person who ordering meal prep. That's I wouldn't say cheap is the most affordable thing that I do, but effective. I treat them as if they ordering 5-star service from me. Why? You want them to come back. I am a humble person, and I will go to the extreme to make sure that, because of course I was called to this. I'm not a cheap individual, so I don't cut corners with people. Even a lot of my customers tried me before in the past coming up, and I didn't know what to do and how to respond to it. But now, I understand as an entrepreneur that some people have champagne taste but want to spend beer money. So you understand where I'm coming from. Mm-hmm. And so I'll tell him in a minute, look, listen, if you don't try Longhorn Steakhouse, if you don't disrespect Morton's, you don't disrespect Root Chris, you're not going to disrespect Tyrone Young and Tyrone Young's Enterprises. You're not going to do that. because I'm just as good, if not better, than any chef out there. So I stand on my guns and I stand on my product. But at the end of the day, you order me, you go get 5-star service. So I humble myself.
Yeah. And that's worth a mouthful too, because like you said, many times people get big and the first people they want to stun on is the customers. They instantly start changing up on the customers.
Oh, Jesus. Yes.
And it's like insane. And one of my favorite quotes is from Sam Walton, the owner of Walmart. And he said there's one owner of like the business, and it's really the customer. Like that is one boss, and that person can fire everybody. Everybody in the entire business can be fired by the customer. And I think as entrepreneurs, that is so important, because people get to this place to where they feel like, you know, they're bigger than the customer and they don't need the customer. Oh, I'm not doing this for the customer. I mean, you serve them. And I'm not saying to succumb to being mistreated or disrespected, but if you put out good energy, more times than none, it'll come back. Think about the Starbucks and the Targets and things like that. You may have one-off situations where people come in and mistreat an employee or something like that, but for the better part of the day, they have a different type of customer that comes into Starbucks and comes into Target that comes in with a different attitude altogether. They don't come in thinking and behaving that way because they know that that's not genuine Target and Starbucks behavior.
Correct. Perfect. I mean, you can even use that with Amazon, the titan of all companies. They specialize in customer service. Jeff Bezos respects the fact that the customers got him the way he is. Let's go into the food service. Chick-fil-A. That's God's restaurant there. I don't care what nobody say. That's the Lord restaurant. You don't believe me? See, when Popeyes came out with that chicken sandwich and the Lord released the plague upon the land, I'm just playing. Listen. Chick-fil-A gives Chick-fil-A service versus your McDonald's, your Burger Kings, and you know, I get a lot of, you know, in the food service, I get a lot of disrespect from, and I hate to say it, but it's true from my experience, and y'all can agree with me, from a lot of black women, young black women, when you pull up to the drive-thru, and y'all know what I'm talking about, you pull up to the drive-thru and McDonald's is, and I'm like, well, I learned not to argue with them. They got my food. So,
right.
Oh, well, I'll pull off in a minute. Never mind, you void that. But I've learned, like, okay, I get it that you're having a bad day. But you know, in the job description, when you filled out this application, your job is customer service, servitude. There will be off days. There will be days you don't want to come in. Life will happen. You'll be going through. But you still want to get paid your full paycheck next Friday. So you need to give these people what you pretended to be in this interview, knowing you're not a humble person. Chick-fil-A, from every Chick-fil-A I've been to, the service is different. The food is different. I ain't never been to no fast food restaurant when I thought it was planned the first time I went there. All right, what's your name? Tyrone. Okay. Hey, Tyrone, they got my name right. Okay, all right, cool, all right. I walked to my table to sit down. They bought me my food. That's one. Two, my food beat me to my table. They smiled, gave me my food, and walked away. Burger King, you lucky if they don't throw a sandwich at you. Okay. It's just the customer service itself. That's what keeps people in business. So in my business, even when you're dealing with a customer, when you messed up, you let them know, is there any way that we can fix this? Because I want you to come back. I made an error. This is why most restaurants, they'll knock something off of they're not dumb. Trust me, restaurant owners are some of the smartest people in the world. They knock something off the menu. I mean, not the menu, off of the invoice. Okay, this will be for free, or they'll give you coupons to eat free, or they'll text you like something special for you because they want you to come back. Because one bad review in Yelp, you're done. All it takes is for them to slander your business, and you're done. That's the proper way to shut a business down. You don't beat the manager up and none of that because you're going to jail at 3 o'clock. But you just do it the correct way. So I never argue with nobody, but my point being is customer service and humility and being an entrepreneur, you have to stand on that first. That's the foundation. That's the SOP, your standard operation and procedure. Customers run your company. And that's why Walmart's so successful right now.
Yeah, I agree. And even though a lot of people feel like, you know, Walmart might be bad at service and Walmart might be bad at a lot of different things and pricing and all kinds of stuff, right? We all have our plight with stores like that. But but one thing we can attest to is that they get as many customers in the door as they possibly can. And they do a great job at knowing how to reach their target audience. And that's another thing that I feel like business owners overlook, the audience piece of it. And I think Right. I see people get on social media and they post all kinds of things out. And you can tell that they don't know who their audience is or what their audience likes. And so I think that's another huge indicator of narcissism. People
Yeah.
who are just overlooking what, their audience needs or what they could provide for them. So when it comes to customer service, all of those things and feeling bigger than life, thank you so much, Natasha, for sharing. I see that she's tagging and sharing. Thank you so much. We
I'm seeing
appreciate
that
it.
now too. Hey
She
y'all,
is on fire.
Morgan,
Thank you so
Tasha,
much.
all of y'all. Thank y'all. I'm seeing that now
Mhm.
popping up. Thank you
It's
all.
popping up. It's delayed for us, but we're seeing it now. But
Yeah.
what I feel like, as entrepreneurs, I think going into that space is much like submission in marriage. I've never been married. I don't know what, that looks like. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anybody who's on here, if you all have ever been married, I think that that's what that looks like, because as married people, you hear you need to submit to your husband, which means that you need to kind of less of you and a little bit more of edifying that person, or a little bit of more of working with them. Are any of you married in the comments that can give us some insight on submission and entrepreneurship and submitting to your customers? Because I feel like it's very, very similar. So those of you out there, comment down below if you've ever been married, or if you just agree or disagree. What are your thoughts on handling customers and submission? Do you feel like that's related at all? A little bit, maybe so. Let me see what comments.
That Natasha Jones, dangerous. I'm telling you. I bring her on my lives after I'm done doing my dollar or the Lord doing this thing. And sometimes I have her just close out, and because women need to hear something from men, but let alone from the woman herself. Because sometimes a lot of women don't like when women speaking the truth on, you're not siding with your foolishness. Like some of these men are really getting beat up out here. And as a woman, this is what you need to do. So I love how the Lord used her a lot in that area, just for sometimes you just need to pull out that belt. Some women need to beat women in that area who've been there before. This is where, even with Big Mama back then, Big Mama taught you the right way. Some Big Mamas didn't. But Miss Natasha Jones, she real oily in that area. I am too. I'm not married or nothing like that. But submission, I do know how to be submissive as a man, because the Bible orders the man to submit himself to God. Also submit his body to his wife. Hey, everybody. Submit his body and himself to his wife. When we all submit to each other, submit to the Lord at first. It's a common respect. Some people think in here submission, and Natasha was talking about this the other night with me. They think submission means being a doormat. That's not true. That's not so. Being submissive is getting you out of the way and respecting the fact that the show must go on. There's a great grace and assignment when dating and marrying someone. It is a mandate as a mandated entrepreneur. Me and you talked about that, Lyntrell. It's rough when, let me plug my Mac up, it's starting to die on me. It's
And
rough
those of
when,
you who are just coming in on Instagram, not to cut you off, but those of you who are just coming in on Instagram, we're on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So we're reading comments over from Facebook, YouTube, and then we're reading your comments as well. So thank you all so much for tuning in and joining us tonight. Go ahead and share this. If you are getting any type of insight or value from this conversation, share it with your favorite people, and go ahead and tag someone to join and watch the live with us now. Okay, so go ahead, Ty.
Oh yeah, and what she was saying, like, it's a grace and it's an assignment. All entrepreneurs can't even be married, and some people think that, okay, since when we get to that place called there, which you would never get there. There's never a perfect moment. You just arrive there together some way out, because the Lord is so awesome. He can send one of you to Cuba. He can send one of you to Alaska, and y'all can end up at the same place at the same time at the same moment. So people don't be understanding. I was trying not to preach tonight, but if it come out, it come out. I'm telling you, because when it comes to dating, marriage, see, I go live a lot and I speak on courting. There's a difference between courting and dating. You date while courting. You date the person you're courting. Some people believe, and I spoke on this the other night, I strongly disagree with a serial dater. You know, let me read a comment really quick, and I'm going to touch on that.
I'm reading it too.
Submission is a command and must be obeyed to experience the full manifestation of the blueprint of marriage. You date to marry, period. That's the whole definition of courting. You're dating with a purpose to marry. You're not dating for likes and comments. You're not dating because you look cool and cute. You're dating to marry, and that's the whole thing where people go wrong at. Where when you're courting, it's with the intent of marrying a person, and so that's where a lot of people go wrong when they think that, okay, well, why isn't this working for me? Because you don't know how to court. Courting comes with respect. Courting comes with discipline. You'll put that thing in first gear when it needs to stay in park versus jumping and skipping gears and grinding gears just to get to the place called there, which is the bedroom. Okay, it got to be more than just that. I ran into a female and I was speaking on serial dating. There are people out there who are firm believers in dating multiple people. When I see that, I'm done. You turned me off spiritually. So I know you ain't going to turn me on physically, because if you're going to be dating me or courting me, that's just going to be it. That's right. Being business partners. That's right.
Okay.
You get me, you get a husband, you get a stripper. I don't know how to strip, you used to be Black Lavender, baby. But you get the chef, you get the business partner, you get the leader, you get the man of God. You get the man who know how to take instruction from God, how to run his household and not be a dictator or a narcissist and expecting everybody to be commanded out of this hand. Only hand going to be over that house is the hand above. Hear me good. And as I was saying with the young lady who wanted to date multiple people, there are people out there who believe in that. I don't do that. And I don't engage in that, and neither should you, anybody out there watching, because a person who's a serial dater, they selfish. They're narcissistic because they only want what they want. They don't care about you. They don't care about all the other spirits that they're entertaining. They call what they call it, situationships or whatever it may be. They're entertaining demons, opening a bunch of doors. And you're added to the number. I'm not going to be a number to nobody because I like me more than that, and you should too. People who don't know about, you don't know your worth. You don't know who you really are. So you accept anything. What's the old saying, Lyntrell? If you don't stand for something, you're going to fall for anything.
That's right.
So I don't believe in serial dating and multiple dating and all that. I court one person at a time. If it don't work, there's the exit. I'll hurt. I may cry. But I ain't gonna die. Still got dimples. I got nice teeth that I can feel. I'll be all right. I ain't gonna be single long. But I know me and I love me because there was a while where I didn't know me. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
You know what? You made a really good point. Serial dating is a lot like people who start in entrepreneurship. And so many times business owners come into business and they're doing this week and they're doing that week and they all over the place.
A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways.
Listen, and so I feel like those are very closely related because, like you said, if you're a serial dater, you're thinking about you. If you keep opening multiple businesses and multiple things, you're trying to find fulfillment for you and not necessarily walk into your purpose. And the reason why I can speak on something like that is because that used to be me. I was good with so many different things that I would do things that I liked and that I felt like I was good at. And I didn't always walk in my purpose like I should have. I was doing things that brought me fulfillment and things that I thought I enjoyed. And I know a few.
I'm going to comment on that. But she said, we all know a few. Trust me.
We all know a
right
few.
Now. We all know a few.
Right. But if you think about it, that is much closely related to serial dating. Like the closer you can get to your soulmate in a relationship and the closer you can get to walking in your purpose in a business, it's like no other. It's like no other relationship you've ever seen. It's like no other business you've ever seen. And my life and my business did not change until I walked in my purpose and I would try different things, just like relationships. I still, I don't believe I know my soulmate. But I feel like in business, I would try different things and all of these things, they would do well to a certain extent and I would hit a plateau. But the minute that I walked into my purpose, all the doors opened. Like all the doors I'd knocked on all my life started opening and all the things that I wanted and all the things I had tried to manifest into my life just opened. It's like the floodgates just poured into my life all at once. And that's how I feel like finding your soulmate. It's like all these bad or poor relationships that you go to, and then you find your soulmate or your soulmate finds you. And now it's like, oh my God, this is the head over heels, fall in love, just take me away, sweep me off my feet type of thing that you wanted your whole life. And it doesn't feel like anything else. Kind of like how everybody says, when you're in it, you'll know because it feels different. I feel like that's how your purpose is. Like, I don't know how to explain what that looks like, but it feels very different.
When you like with myself, people, and I say this humbly, people call me a Renaissance man. God gave me many gifts and many talents. All you need is one. God gave I'm athletic, I can box, I was fast and played football, military, I can preach, I can rap bars. All right. So and you know, I'm good with my hands, but God put me in the kitchen and I can speak. So God told me that I'm go preach. Some people, you know, look at me as a motivational speaker. Okay, cool. It's the anointing that allows you to do what people go to school for, what people try to emulate, what people try to study, what people try to duplicate. The anointing. And I tell people all the time, you find your passion in anything, go after it. But when you find your purpose walks you down. And 10 times out of 10, you find your purpose when you give it the Lord, because God starts showing you. Then God starts tapping into that desire that you do so easily that takes the least amount of effort. That's when you find out where you're called and where you need to be placed at. You should not be over here trying to learn how to be a computer engineer when God called you to the hair industry. You shouldn't be over here trying to build vehicles and build cars and be an automotive when God called you to being a chef. You over here trying to do construction. God wants you to go to space. So in other words, you have to be in your lane, stay in your lane. There are many people, like you said, they try to open up many doors and try to do all these other things at one time. You double-minded and you unstable in everything that you do, because most people do that in relationships, and most people who do that in businesses, they end up with nothing because they get burned out. And most people who do that, they don't know God. They have not talked to God. They use God as a last resort when God would be a first response. If God is the first response, you ain't got to go through all that. When God told me one day before I was saved, I did a lot of other things. I watched that Cordon Bleu commercial 1,000 times. And one day I went to my mama's house, and it was a rough time in my life. I went to my mama's house and I looked at that commercial. That's the first day I heard the Holy Spirit speak to me, and I wasn't even saved. So we gonna say that something told me, the sixth sense, the intuition. Nah, it was the Holy Spirit saying it as clear as day, because he speak to your spirit and you know that you know that you know that you know. You wouldn't even thought of that. I looked at that commercial and I heard the Holy Spirit say it's clear as day. Go and roll the Cordon Bleu on Monday. He put a date behind that. So I had to act upon it, and I had to be obedient, because partial obedience is disobedience. Delayed obedience is disobedience. I just helped somebody scream on that back row. I know they did.
Listen.
So what happened was, when I went there on Monday, I enrolled on Monday. I got my uniform and my knives on Friday. My butt was in the seat that following Monday. The moment I got there, that when I was able to use my GI Bill, the military started paying me. I mean, they had to back pay me. And when they got to back pay you, they hit you off right. So it was all about timing and placement, because I was going to the labor pool every day for 7 months. If y'all don't know what the number 7 is, it is the number of perfection, okay? Look up 7. That's God's favorite number. 7 months, it all ended. My sudden moment came in 7 months. So whoever out there who trying to keep going and you're wrestling with where you should be, you might want to stop and pray and ask God, where should I be in this season? Because if you don't know, this is the year of release. Last year, God had to flatten the whole entire world and level everything to let everybody know he's still in charge. So you need to find out. Yes, you don't want God walking through, because God passing out envelopes with people's names on them. You might want to get your yellow envelope with what's inside of it. So you need to be in position, in line with what, you got to be in alignment with the word of God. So if you, for my business owners and my entrepreneurs out there, if God not is in business with you, you have no business. You have an idea and you're wasting your time. You want him to be the foundation of your business. Yes, put God in your business. When you put God in your business, God will get in your business. I promise you. I heard that back row. I hope you caught that. I hope that person back there ain't paying attention. I hope you caught that. When you put God in your business, he gets in your business. I'm telling you, like the floodgates opened up on this young lady when she finally walked into where God wanted her to be. When I walked in the way God wanted me to be, business started coming out of everywhere. And so I'm thankful and I'm grateful. So I sharpen my skills in what God called me to do. I don't like, hear me good, and I'm going to pass it back to you. I agree with what Steve Harvey said, because I've been saying that for years. Nothing wrong with you being educated. I don't like school, but you need to be sharp in what you know. Your gifts make room for you and put you in front of great men, not your education. Because I've seen many people out there, and I say it to people all the time, college breeds employees. Life breeds entrepreneurs. I don't care about college like that. I'm gonna send my son to a trade school because he needs to learn his skill set and sharpen his gifts. That's what's gonna get him to stardom. He don't need all that. You going to school and you coming out with a 5-6 year degree. Nothing wrong with that, but you can't get a job. They teach you to get a job, and you can't even get a job in the field that you call to be in because it's gridlock. Now you're locked into a student loan that you know and they know you ain't gonna pay back. So they slap it on your credit report and keep it there forever. It's a setup, y'all. It's a setup. So get God in your business and you run like hell. She would tell you business does not do this when it starts. Business does this.
Woo! Listen, it's a never-ending roller coaster.
I'm telling you, yes. Woo. Yes. Yes, completion as well, Natasha. Number 7 is completion also. Yes, go ahead. I'm sorry. I was reading comments.
I was going to say, you said something about 7 months. A lot of people get into entrepreneurship and they think that, you know, oh, it looks like this person blew up overnight. And I always say, if anybody ever say that they saw me blow up overnight, no, this was a lot of a long time coming. Listen, I've been working in my business, on my business, around my business, and through my business for a long time. It was not an overnight process. That was a long 10, 15 years. Okay. That was a long night, a 15-year night. So nobody better ever say, you know, that I blew up overnight or anything like that. But people get into this and they give up at the slightest hint of hard work. And I'm convinced that people don't want businesses anymore. They want hobbies. But they want those hobbies to pay like a business.
Yes.
It's a long process. It's hard. It's tedious. It's lonely. I talk about my story a lot, in which I moved all the way from Florida too, but I moved all the way from Florida with my 3 small children at the time. I have 4 now, but I moved up to Atlanta with no friends, no family, nobody. And I would lug my children. At the time, I was a full-time makeup artist. And I would lug my children on set, on video shoots and on photography sets. I would have to take my kids and we would be on some sets 24 hours at a time. It was a nightmare. And my kids would be in a corner with their snacks and their homework, and it was hard, you know, but that's the part that people don't post on Instagram, and that's the part that people don't post on Facebook. And that is when it tests your character, because most people will be like, you know what, I'm going home, back to my family with my whoever's going to watch my kids and babysitter. It was a nightmare. But I just couldn't quit. I couldn't give up. And so I want to say to anybody who feels like your challenge or your path is unusually difficult, it's like that for a lot of people, and people don't share that side of the story. They share the cute parts, you know, and I like to be transparent on my social media, and I have been for years, about my journey and things that I've had to overcome. I tell people a lot. I've scraped change to put gas in my car, and I've also cashed checks over $30,000 at a time. So, you know, it's fluctuating. It's not perfect. It's not going to be a one size fit all. Everybody's journey is going to be different. Everybody's story is going to be different, but that is the only thing that you have that makes you different. At this point, most industries are saturated. And so if most industries are saturated, what else sets you aside from Joe Blow down the street who sells the same thing? The only thing is you. You are the only person and the only thing that you have that no other business has. So going through that hard, fiery, time testing trial to get to the other side is hard and it's not cute, but it's worth it. Once you get on the other side and you get to walk into your purpose, it is like a glory land. It's not anything that you can imagine, or you don't even know what that looks like. It's just different. So I always say, you know, just keep going, because many people stop, and that is where success lies, and the people that keep going. It's not like you said, it doesn't mean you have to have a degree. I have a college degree, but it doesn't mean you have to have one. It doesn't mean you have to graduate high school. I know people who dropped out of school. I know people who dropped out of college. I know people who have failed at everything in life and they still came out on top in business. So there's no, cookie cutter. Just keep going. That's the difference. Most people just don't go long enough. Keep going until you hit it, and I promise you will.
Yes, hard work still work. To whom much is given, much is required. So for those who build their businesses, you entrepreneurs, it's a reason why God keep tapping you in that area when you want to give up, when you want to throw in the towel, when you say, because you give up in here first, then you give up in here. Before everything start manifesting, you done gave up already before your actions show it. But God always tap you and remind you, or he'll show you on TV, or somebody will come. I'm talking to somebody. Somebody will come to you and remind you. You'll see a bumper sticker. You'll see a billboard. You'll see a Facebook post. This is how God rev you back up and get you back the way he called you to go, because that calling, that vision, that's yours. Ain't nobody else gonna see it, talk about it, think about it, invest in it the way you would do. Get out of expecting, because the last people, or if not never, the ones to support you, and black people got this problem more than any other race, is family and friends. You better, I built businesses off the stranger. The stranger show up, somebody just screamed. The stranger support, somebody just screamed. The stranger looks out, the stranger refers. Get out of that hole, I'm stuck in my city. Y'all know my story for those who follow me. I live in a studio apartment right now. This probably about my closet right there, my bed in front of me, my kitchen right there. My history ain't my destiny. I'm looking for houses right now. Just like a body without a soul is dead, faith without works is dead. Stop making excuses on why you should stay where you are. I tell folks this all the time. I respect you. I don't respect or accept your excuses, because we all have one, and who can give a better one than a person who want to stay where they are? Some people let other people talk them out of what God put them in. Stop relying on the words of other people, because at the end of the day, they don't care. 20% don't care, 80% glad that is you. You cannot, listen, hard work still work. They may have more money than me. They may be more educated than me. They may be there before me, but you can't take away my work ethic. I'm the first one in and the last one out, and I think I'm the most consistent man on earth. URL, earth. I think I'm the most consistent man out there. You cannot beat consistency. Why you think Tom Brady got all them Super Bowl rings? Tom Brady does not go for the deep ball. If Gronk is open, he throws to the open receiver. It worked. You keep doing it. Some people get so upset. Well, all you gonna keep doing is the same thing. He wide open. I'm not throwing to my favorite receiver. Stop going after your favorite person when it comes to business, and go for the person who open. Go for the person who gonna put your business out there. Go for the person who shows up just like you. And remember, the person who show up with you, they go through the mud with you, them the ones who celebrate with you. You are only strong as the weakest link in your team. One band, one sound. So at the end of the day, you got to keep putting in that work. And I heard there's a friend of mine. She helped save my life. Go by the name of Janetta Joseph. That woman just received a millionaire recipient award at Palooza, and she broke it down. Life is like a bus. People who are on with you, business, you can agree with me. Business, people who are on the bus with you, life who's on the bus with you, your destination and their destination is not the same. You may be on your ride to the final destination. Their stop could be 2 stops away. Their stop could be a stop away from your destination. But you cannot expect everybody to get off at the same stop. Every level you go on, the more you go up, anytime you get elevated, because elevation requires separation. Anytime you go up, it's some people and some stuff you got to leave behind. It's some habits you have to leave behind. Because as I stated, every time you go up, you're the new guy. Every time you get another level, you're not an expert no more. You're a rookie. I learned that in the military. When I became a sergeant, all that stuff I did as a PFC, a specialist, a private, that's going out the window. I'm a sergeant now. I'm new to being a sergeant to the sergeants. I'm the new guy. So I don't come up there with stuff that I was taught. And there's some things that you have to unlearn. If you want to be in the entrepreneur game, if you want to be successful like this young lady, if you want to be successful like me, listen, man, you got to show up every day. Life going to happen. You ain't going to want to be here. You're going to want to quit. You ain't going to feel like it. You're going to go through a heartbreak, who I'm talking to. You're going to go through hell. You're going to get in an argument. You and your spouse may fall out behind building a business, I'm telling you, entrepreneurs, they catch it. Because to whom much is given, much is required. No process, no platform. They don't show you when you building a foundation. They show you, like she said, the cutting the ribbon, the popping the bottles, DJ outside, balloons up in the air, grand opening. They didn't tell you they almost lost their mind. Walt Disney filed for bankruptcy 9 times. Disney owned Marvel, the MCU, the Avengers, and all that. $1 billion for him not giving up. Jeff Bezos started Amazon, I think, in 94. Amazon really didn't take off to about 2010, 2012-ish. 2021. Amazon not that old. They may be the first company to reach $1 trillion as a company without being government contracted and all that other stuff. People looked at this man crazy. Amazon started as overhead. They didn't own nothing. He found a need. What, like she said, what need did you put in the earth? What make you different from Mike, Johnny, Kim, Latoya? What make you different from all of them? Because all y'all do the same thing. Every industry is oversaturated right now because everybody, when God flattened everything, the entrepreneur came out of a lot of people. They started realizing that job security is not a real thing.
That's goodness. Another thing is you pointed something out real good the other day on your Facebook page, and I wanted to piggyback off of it about Mark Zuckerberg. And that's always been one of my favorite situations because I was young when I moved to Atlanta. I was young when I became a business owner. And so it wasn't the cool thing to do. Like now it's all fun and games, all these brunches, and everybody's got all these cool girl groups and, you know, entrepreneurs, resources everywhere. Like it was none of that. Okay. I felt like a giraffe. Like I was all alone. There were no cool clubs, and there were no exciting events on the weekend, and no entrepreneur events and stuff. So now everybody, it's a lot easier. But that picture you put on social media the other day talked about when Mark Zuckerberg called his friends over to set up Facebook. Nobody knew what Facebook was. It wasn't the big, huge platform that we're on today. It was just a thought in his mind, something in his head. He called people over to take a look at something that he thought might be a good idea. And hardly anybody showed up. 2 people showed up out of all them that he signed up or whatever. I go back and think about all the times that at that time, like I said, it wasn't fun back then, but I would call friends and they were young. We were all young and they would be out doing whatever else. Nobody wanted to talk business. Nobody wanted to, go to the networking events with me or none of that stuff. But now everybody is on this whole entrepreneur journey to where, they're all trying to reach the top. Everybody's starting a business. Now it's like the cool to do. And I'm like, dang, only if we all could have run together years ago, or only if we all could have come together a long time ago. Like you said, I had to leave a lot of people behind, people that I considered very close friends, people that I thought I was going to live the rest of my life with. But I realized the older that I got that we were on very different paths in life. And not to say that they aren't successful in what they do. Many of them went off and became successful employees. Many of them went off and just became successful, moms or housewives and other stuff. And they're all doing their own thing, and that's okay. But on this journey, it's like dating. So, when you're dating, you don't want to hang around a bunch of single people. When you're married, you don't want to hang around a bunch of single people. When you're an entrepreneur, you need other people who are crazy like you. You need other people who don't mind showing up to the Facebook Live when nobody's watching. You need other people who are showing up in their business when it's not making money. You need other people around you who tell you, like, that's not crazy. That's passion. That's not crazy. That's consistency. It's going to pay off. Because many other people are like, girl, you might as well just get a job, or you might as well just do this or do that. And they'll push you back into their safe space because it's not comfortable for them to be out there. You got to get around those people who, like Mark Zuckerberg did, take the people who come with you and take the people who are crazy and wild enough to run with you and run with those people. Like you said, run like hell, because it's safe over there on the sidewalk, and business is everything but safe. It's risky. And the difference between an entrepreneur and an employee is we assume all the risk. in a business. When a business starts up, we take all the financial hits, we take all of the publicity hits. If something goes wrong, we're the face of the brand. And nobody
Jesus.
cares that it was anybody else on the back end that didn't do their job. It's all the face of the brand. And so you've got to be strong in those areas when it causes you to be out front. That's what an entrepreneur is. They work hard. They don't mind taking risks. They don't mind being in front of the people, because it doesn't hurt them to be out there on the front line, and it hurt, or it's ugly, or it doesn't feel good. Those are the times when that real entrepreneur spirit comes out of you. It has nothing to do with the money we make, nothing to do with the products that we have. It's the lives that we touch and the way that we operate when we're on the front line. Like, you're in the military, you know what it's like to be on the front line and to be at battle or to be at war. We're constantly on the front line. We don't get to go into the hut with everybody else and take a break and go, cool off or sit down. We got to stay out there where the guns are blazing and the media is talking about us and everybody's talking about our last thing that flopped, or everybody see us post something on social media and it failed, right? You got to be okay with that and keep going. Just keep going, because that is that deciding factor on if you're going to ever make it. If that type of stuff bothers you and you don't tackle it early enough, you're going to be stuck and glued to safety for a long time. You have to tackle those types of behaviors. There's going to be a lot of days where you feel all alone, coming up with ideas. You may not have anybody to bounce these ideas off of or share your next big idea with. You got to be okay to run with it alone.
Right. And man, look, listen, hear me. The war does not stop because you tired. The war does not stop because you ran out of bullets. The war does not stop because somebody next to you got killed. This war is still going on. A lot of people quit because something failed, and they don't know that failure is a learning opportunity. I don't fail, I learn. When I fail, allegedly, I learn what not to do next time. Fear, false evidence that appears real, have crippled many people. People went to the grave. You know the old saying, the most expensive place on earth is the graveyard, because billion-dollar ideas, trillion-dollar ideas God gave, things that was going to change the whole future of this planet, probably the entire universe. Somebody took it to the grave with them because they didn't have the support, or it was the fear of failure, or they just felt like they weren't good enough, they weren't worthy enough that God would drop a bomb on them like that. And I say this all the time, that right there, if you cannot take being corrected, you ain't ready for life. Don't even think about being an entrepreneur. Don't think about being a spouse to anybody. Don't think about even being an effective parent. Because if you cannot take being corrected, the Bible says iron sharpens iron as a man does another. And as you stated, with certain people, you just can't be around no more, because God will close certain doors on certain people in your life. God will cause certain people to fall out with you over the smallest things just to get you the way you need to go. Bad company corrupts good character. I heard you say something about when the company takes a hit off of one employee. They ain't looking at you. They looking at the owner, the brand promoter, the brand owner. In the military, they told us all the time, you better not be outside acting up in or outside of uniform. If you see a soldier out there acting up in uniform, the taxpayer, which pay our dollars, pay their dollars and pay our budget, pay our check, the taxpayer don't look at the soldier. They look at the army. And the army will make an example out of you. Before you embarrass them, they'll make a hard example out of you. I say that to say this. Discipline and structure comes from humility. You have to know how to have discipline. If you're disciplined and you're structured, what people say to you may even hurt, but the Holy Spirit, if you have him, he don't just make you jump up and down and shout in tongues. The Holy Spirit make you hold your peace. The Holy Spirit stop you from killing somebody. The Holy Spirit stop you from responding, or what y'all call it, clap back, if they still say that. I'm old school, or they want to retaliate or open up their doggone mouth, because you will damage your brand. You do not want to damage your brand. You protect the brand at all costs, because at the end of the day, you're a walking billboard, you're a walking advertisement. It don't matter if one person is on the live, one person show up to an event, the show must go on. You have no idea who you inspire. By us doing this live video, a lot of people may not be on here now. I bet they watch that replay. Some people may not never say anything to you, but they'll watch your stuff like a hawk. They'll look at your stories. They may never support you. Just because the person you desire not to support you, that don't mean and then they don't support you, that don't mean your business is a flop or a failure. Maybe what you have to offer ain't for them. That's why I don't stay hell-bent on one person. It's all about placement and staying in your lane and serving the people. Hear me. God assigned to every entrepreneur the crew of people who are meant for them. What's meant for you will not go by you. You ain't got to do nothing strange for some change, ladies. You ain't got to lay down with no man to get your business opportunity or get your business off the ground. You ain't got to settle. Fellas, you don't have to take no hit or be a slave to nobody or go on a demonic contract with somebody to get your business off the ground. You keep digging. The farmer does not eat the same day he plants the seed. The last thing grow on a fruit tree is the fruit. You need to build a foundation that's going to stand. The best fruit is at the top of the tree. How you get to the top of the tree? How you get to the top? You climb. You climb branches. You go through opposition. You go through backbiting. You go through being betrayed by cutthroat business partners or family members or even so-called friends. You keep climbing because that fruit that's hanging, your eyes is on it. They'll set up a low-hanging fruit. Those are the rotten fruit. Those are the fruit that everybody can have access to. I'm preaching right now faster than you listening. You don't want to be with people who are easy accessible. You're not acting like you're all that, but certain people shouldn't be so close to you. This is why a lot of you need to learn how to play chess. Chess teaches you about life. You can't get upset with nobody on how close you have them to you. A woman told me this years ago, and it stuck with me. You never tell nobody nothing you do not want to hear again. So you can't get mad at somebody for something that you share with them. This is why you need to use wisdom. The Bible says that wisdom is the principal thing. Out of all that get an understanding. Some people are not going to understand you when that vision is handed to you. You're going to come off as crazy when you operate in real faith. You're going to lose people. You're going to lose sleep. You're going to lose friends. If you lose a friend over whatever it may be, thank God that he closed the door. Sometimes the trash got to take itself out. If you lose a woman or you lose a man in the process of building, welcome to the NFL, the No Friends League. Entrepreneur 101. You have no friends. Not in the beginning. You're building. Yeah. You ain't got time to be friendly. Your behind need to keep laying that foundation brick and mortar because some of us don't have networks. Some of us ain't got 401ks. You want to know what my 401k is? They're right here. These are my 401ks. I ain't got no backup plan. I ain't got no government bailout plan. I ain't got no rich mama, daddy, or uncle who can come bail me out of $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 situation immediately. I got to get this thing from the mud. My journey may be longer, but 2 + 2 is 4. 3 + 1 is 4. I will get them up 4. It don't matter which road I take. But some of you, stop asking for an easy way out. Some things you're going to have to go through because it's for character development. God don't care about your breakthrough more than he care about your character. Because your breakthrough is there. Your likes, not your likes, but your crowd is there, but your character is going to keep you there. Some people make it there too fast and they don't have character development. So this is when this start getting bigger. And that I start getting real bigger. That letter I get real bigger. Congratulations, you operating in pride. And you finna be bought down publicly. So for my entrepreneurs who really want to get it from the mud, you without an excuse. You're going to have to stay up late. You're going to have to sit this one out. You can't go to the club no more. You can't hang out with them. Ladies, you can't date him. Fellas, you can't date her. You can't marry him. You can't marry her. You're building. And if they really want to be there with you, if he really want to be there with you, men go after what they want. Ain't no devil on earth gonna stop a man from coming. Ain't no distance, ain't no devil in hell gonna stop a man from coming after you. Because if he wants you, he's coming for you. You ain't got to do nothing extra. He gonna come. Ladies, I don't know how y'all wired. I ain't even gonna tap into that, but that's all I got on that.
Well, I think we gave some really good tips. I think we gave some really good information. I think talking about how narcissism and entrepreneurship kind of go hand in hand, and it's a fine line of divide with the two, hopefully brought some clarity to many of the entrepreneurs who are watching. Hopefully the journey and the going through the hell of it all brought some clarity. Anybody who might be feeling like it's time to quit or give up, or they're unsure about their next step, or they're unsure if they're on the right path, just knowing that if you just keep going, you'll get there. And so hopefully we brought some clarity to all of you who are watching. And if you are watching live, go ahead and drop live down in the comments. If you're watching this on the replay, drop replay down there and go ahead and share this out. We'll see you all next Wednesday back with another dynamic duo of Lyntrell and Chef Ty. Thank you for joining us. See you next time.
Bye.